start again. So if people are trying to follow along, hopefully you've got Culvert Master installed, and if you do, go ahead and open it up. Right, and what we're going to do is create a new project here and save it wherever you want. And save it in a folder, and you see the default here, the default name is Project 1. I'm just going to keep it as Project 1, so go ahead and save that. The project title that we want is Embankment Cross-Drain System. Embankment Cross-Drain System. So once you've entered Embankment Cross-Drain System for the, go ahead and click Next. And what we want to do here is define rainfall equations. So go ahead and click Define Rainfall Equations. And the equation that we want to use is the file that you should have been sent. So that if you go to Open Equation, you find hopefully the Kohler SC dot equation. I don't know who sent it to you and where it's stored or anything like that, so hopefully everybody has that file. Go ahead and open that equation. And obviously make sure it's in minutes, and the intensity units is in millimeters per hour. Make sure you change those to be in metric minutes and millimeters per hour. And so again, the Kohler SC should be in millimeters per hour. So when you open it, it's probably going to change it to inches, and you need to make sure it's in millimeters. Alright, so okay that. Next, and this is a new analysis. So, as I mentioned earlier, the first one is a new analysis, and then we're going to do a new design. So, an analysis first to see whether there's any overflow to find areas, and then there'll be a new design to cope with that. So, new analysis to be selected, and then you can go finished, and the location. Location 1, you want to change it to evaluate existing system. So that's the title for this element, evaluate existing system. And okay that, and that'll bring up the Culvert Designer Analyzer. Alright, so just make sure, for those who couldn't join earlier, just close that down firstly and just go and make sure your tools, options, and then unit system is set to System International. So hopefully it should be, but just make sure that unit system is System International. And okay that. And then you can just double click on evaluate existing system to bring up the Culvert Designer Analyzer again. So the method at the top is the rational method. I'm not going to go into what the rational method is and whatever probably covered that, or you're going to cover it, or whatever. Anyway, so the return period in the middle here, the design is a 10-year return period, and the check storm is 25, so that one's correct. And we also need to enter the surface area here in hectares, which is 24.28, with a rational coefficient of 0.5. And the time of concentration here is 20 minutes. Again, I'm not going to sort of go into time of concentration and runoff coefficients and manage them and stuff. I'm just going to sort of concentrate on the software itself. You guys can kind of do that elsewhere. Alright, so see down the bottom, analysis should be selected, not design obviously for the first one. The design storm here, check storm over topic, we want design storm. So make sure that's all selected. So that's kind of done for the watershed tab. Over to the table water tab. And the method that we want is natural channel. So that's the method that we've got. And of course, we need a slope, and the slope is 0.002. And again, that's in meters per meter there. That should be correct, but just in case it isn't. Alright, now we need to enter the actual cross-section for this natural channel. So edit cross-section, and we've got the irregular channel editor here. So enter some values, and so just kind of follow along and follow these values. So before you do that, if you right click on station and go to station properties, change the display precision to 2. So that's just how many decimal points we're going to be able to display. And so you see now it says 4.6 instead of 5. So it's just showing all the decimal places. 4.69, 7.19. 7.5 and 10.97. And of course you need to enter the corresponding elevation in meters. 103.63, 101.1, 99.87, 99.82, 101.2 and 103.33. So once you enter those, you should see the graph, the display down the bottom now shows the irregular channel. So that's kind of how you know that you've entered the values correctly. If you don't, it's not going to show the channel looking anything like that. We also need to enter the start and the end station and the Manning's coefficient for each one. So this is done via drop down, so you can select each one from the drop down, and there'll be 3. So just go ahead and kind of follow this, and then select them, the corresponding ones. They're not all going to be correct. And then obviously enter the Manning's coefficient for each one. So the first one's 0.15 and 0.045. 0.09. So now you should see a green picture down the bottom with some circles at each of these top 4 ones. So the start and end station and the Manning's coefficient that applies to each one. Once you've done all of that, go ahead and click OK. And that's all done, so you can go back to the watershed tab. And now what we want to do is create a new analysis. So we need to actually put the culverts in. So the new analysis button is this one here, new analysis component. I don't know what that picture is meant to be, but go ahead and click that. And obviously we need to enter circular is correct, but material is CMP and not concrete. The size is 900 mil, not 300. It's correct, and Manning's 0.024 is also correct. Projecting for the inlet entrance and KE 0.9 also correct. Solve for slope, correct. Only the inverts and the length we just need to fill in. So the invert is 101.14 for upstream. Downstream is 100.17. And the length here is 20.12. Obviously the slope here is grayed out because we haven't solved for it yet. So once you've done all those values, go ahead and click solve. And now you should have a slope here. And when you say that headwater elevations and exits and stuff here are also calculated. Yeah, okay that, and you should see that 900mm circular CMP culvert has now been added to our culvert design analyzer. But we, in actual fact, have two culverts. So we need to kind of do the same thing again. So back over to the new analysis component button. And we'll enter the data on a second one. So again, it's CMP, but this time the size is 1050. Again, one. So the entrance is projecting again. Make sure you select projecting there. Sulfur slope is correct. The invert upstream is 100.28. Downstream 99.92. Now the length is the same, 20.12. And again, you can solve. So instead of the slope, the grayed out slope has now been filled as well as all the stuff over to the right. So again, okay that, and now you should have two culverts with discharges and solve all in a second, but first we've got to put in the weir. So you go to the weir, highlight that and double click it to open up the overtopping component. In our case, it's going to be a roadway. So go to the method and it's a roadway, as I said. And we need to enter some, so just kind of, again, follow along. So just go ahead and add those numbers in. You notice that the lowest elevation here is 103.00. So the reason that's interesting is because we're going to use it a little bit later when we design a new culvert. But anyway, I don't know if you guys are following along or what, or entering those values. Hopefully you've entered the values. Make sure before you close out of it, over on the roadway, you also add the width, which is 13.11. So just while you're entering those, the roadway here, the STA, in meters that we entered there, that's the roadway center line. So elevation, obviously that's the elevation of it at that point. So that's the road center line, and the roadway type here, you can see it's a paved road, and then the width. So this is what we're kind of calculating the overflow, the overtopping flow onto, and it runs parallel with the direction of flow. Okay, so you can solve that if you want, doesn't really matter, but click OK, and now you should obviously see a roadway here, a weird roadway. Alright, so now we've got our two culverts which have been set up, as well as our roadway. We're ready to solve all, so go ahead and click the solve all button. We've missed something out here by the look of it. Let me just see if I can figure out why we're not getting any results we're expecting here. Actually, any questions while I'm trying to figure this out?
Any questions, guys? Who's right?
No, there are no questions as of now. I have told them that if they have any questions, they can put it in Q&A box. I'm looking for that.
So they record the whole thing and they're playing it for us.
Alright, so if you close down the culvert, and so the problem is that the rainfall equations and the units. So you go to the analysis tab, you go to the rainfall data and open up the equations and change the intensity units to inches per hour. So I told you to swap it over to millimeters per hour. It looks like it is in fact in inches per hour. So change it to inches per hour.
But we start with SI systems.
Okay, that. Double click on evaluate existing system. And then if you change it to checkstorm, and click solve all, change it back to design storm and I'll let you solve all. Should now have the same results that I have here. So, sorry about that. But hopefully now you've got the design storm here with a roadway discharge of 0.7 meters cubed per second. So that's the overflow that we're getting with the current two culverts. So there's two culverts in there at the moment. With those two in there, see with the design storm, which is a 10-year storm, we're getting significant overflow into the roadway here. And then you can change it to the check storm, which is the 25-year storm. Again, solve all, and you'll see that this time it's more like 1.5 meters cubed per second, so about double as far as the discharge for the 10-year compared to the 25-year. And of course, the culverts are also slightly different. So that's the initial test of what's already in place in this example. So obviously we need to do something about this since we have significant overflow of these culverts onto the roadway. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to design a new culvert to be able to replace this system, and what we're going to do is give it a freeboard requirement of 0.3 meters, and you'll see how we do that in a second, and then and it's just going to be one culvert basically. So that's how we're going to design it. So if you close down the Culvert Designer, just back to the kind of main screen here, and right click on Evaluate Existing System and go to Duplicate. And in Duplicate, enter a new name. This one's a new box Culvert. So just enter new box Culvert. Okay, that. Once you've got the new box Culvert there, double click on that. And obviously we duplicated it, so everything's all exactly the same. What we want to change first is down the bottom left here, analysis to design. So just change the radio button over there to design. Okay, and you see now the headwater tab right out. So go to the headwater tab, and the method that we want here is maximum allowable headwater. And the maximum allowable headwater elevation here is 102.7. So that's that 300 mil of freeboard that we're allowing. So the lowest elevation that we saw earlier that we entered was 103.0. So take the 300 mil off that. The headwater elevation that we're prepared to allow 102.7. That's it for headwater. Over to tailwater. Sorry, not tailwater, grades. Now the grades tab. Inverts method is correct, and we solve for invert upstream. So basically we're just trying to figure out where we're putting this in terms of the upstream invert. So we have the downstream invert, which is 99.82. The length is the same as all the other ones, which is 20.12. And the slope that we want is 0.015. So we want a slope of 1.5%, because that's kind of our design standard or whatever it might be for wherever we're designing this. And then we can add a new design trial. So to add a new design trial down the bottom here, the pencil with the box around it. I don't know what that's meant, but anyway, that's the new design trial, the pencil. So go ahead and click the pencil, and this is the Culvert design. So clearly this is where we're going to obviously design this new culvert to take that flow without any overflow. Okay, so we're going to solve for size. We want to figure out what kind of culvert we need to put in to take care of this system. So the shape is a box. Fill is concrete, that's correct. The size is grayed out, so don't worry about that, because that's what we're solving for. It's 1, again, that's correct. 0.013, again, correct. 90 degree head wall, 45 degree bevels, yes. KE 0.2, yes. And select the storm to solve for. We want check storm. Obviously, we need to design this for the worst storm, which is the 25-year check, not the 10-year design. So this is a worst case scenario kind of design. So go ahead and click solve, and you'll see that the grayed out size has now changed to 2130 by 1220 millimeters box culvert. So that's the size that we're going to require as far as the existing system as it stands. So go ahead and you see that it says make this the selected design. That's okay. So click OK there, and then you'll see the one we just created there has now appeared. So that's our design. What we want to do is obviously analyze this to make sure it works, but just in case. So go back to the analysis button. And obviously we've got the 2 existing culverts there, so we're going to replace them. So you can go ahead and delete them. So let's just right click and delete. We want to leave the roadway, of course, in case there is overflow. And what we want to do is import. So the bottom button there, the folder with the new button, import design, that's what we want. And the available designs is only one, and obviously it should be the one that we just created. Only one there, so just click OK. And there you should see your box culvert has now appeared. And so what we can do is go ahead and solve it. So solve all. So there's the check storm and the 25-year. You see that the discharge over the roadway is 0. You can check the design storm if you want, but that's a smaller storm, it's going to be 0 as well. So regardless of which one you check, you should see that both of them are 0 as far as discharge onto the roadway. So clearly that design worked. So that was going and designing a culvert basically from scratch to replace the entire existing system. But what if we wanted to add a supplemental culvert now? So close down the new box culvert one, back to the main screen here, and evaluate existing system. Go ahead and duplicate that again. And this one is supplemental capacity design. Okay, that. Once you've renamed and created that, you can either double click on it or click edit. Either way, we're going to open up the culvert design analyzer. Alright, so down the bottom here, make sure check storm is selected, and then once you put button. So when you click the output button, you can generate a report, and what you'll find on the report is if you find the tailwater elevation, which if you scroll down you find tailwater elevation. It's up page 2 somewhere. Elevation, there you go. So 102.4. That's the tailwater elevation from what we know of the system already, from the existing analysis we've already done. 102.4. So you close down the output, the generate report output. Click on the tailwater tab. And the method that we want this time is constant tailwater. So the constant tailwater elevation is 102.4, as we just saw. 102.4, meaning that the tailwater or the level of the water is just constantly sitting there at 102.4 meters. Right, so again, the output button and calculate rating table. Right, so to make this kind of a little bit clearer, if you go down to the increment, change the increment to 0.28 meters cubed per second. And once you've done that, refresh it. What we're looking for is the 102.7. So 102.7 here is about 1.96. So 1.96 is approximately the discharge when the headwater elevation is 102.67. It's not exactly correct, but we're just going to use that. So that's the discharge at that headwater elevation. Alright, so we're just going to use that value when we add to it. So go ahead and close that down, and the generate output as well. And again, over to the design. So the design radio button should now be on, and the watershed tab. And this time the method from rational to peak discharge. And the check storm is 2.83 meters cubed per second. Over to the headwater tab, and the method here is maximum allowable headwater. The maximum allowable headwater is the same as it was earlier, 102.7. The grades tab, inverts again, solves for invert upstream. Invert downstream is 99.82. The length is the same, of course, 20.12. And the slope is 1.5%. So you can change it to percent by just right clicking on the meters per meter, saying slope properties, and change it to cent. So I think obviously we could have just entered it as meters per meter, but I think it's just a way to show you that the way to change the units here into what you want is just to right click on the unit itself and go to the properties. So that's 1.5%. Alright, so now we need the new design trial, the pencil, down the bottom again. Go ahead and select the pencil. This is the Culvert design solver. And again, we're solving for size. It's circular, it's concrete, and the entrance is square edge with head wall. So that's the one we're designing here. And to select the storm, we want check storm. So make sure you've selected check storm, otherwise you can get obviously a very different design since the design storm is 0. Okay, so then you can solve it. And you see it's a 1500 mil concrete circular culvert that we just designed. So obviously it's different, it's a box culvert we designed to replace the whole system. Since we're adding this to the system, it's a 1500 mil circular. And so now you can see it's now appeared as always. And then we want to go back to analysis. Our existing 2 culverts are there. We need to add the one we just created, so import design. There it is, a 1500 mil circular. Okay, that should now have 3 culverts. I'm going to change the method back to rational so that we're doing the same analysis again. Check storm is the ones, and then we can solve. So again, you can see the roadway has a 0 flow. So the improved system with the new 1500 mil circular culvert does in fact solve the problem. The 2 meter box culvert that we put in earlier also solved the system. So you can either add one or obviously create it from scratch. So if there's any questions, happy to take them. Just to kind of recap, the first one was the very enter enter the info, check it against the storm. Second one was redesign the whole system. And the third one, add an additional culvert to existing 2 culverts to also solve the system for that particular 25-year storm. You kind of hopefully see going. The way that the product really works is you go around, solve for specific things, find elevations and sizes and things like that, solve for each one, and then create it that way. So solve for the information you need, get the information, input that information, solve and so on until you get the entire system that you want. So this is what I'd call a kind of calculator. You need to calculate what you want. So it's not a modelling tool as such. I think the modelling tool that we have, one of them, Stormcat, I think that's in the next session. But obviously happy to take questions. But that's the end of the workshop.
Hey guys, are you asking something?
Well,
Thank you, team.
More about the design.
Now we open the platform for you to type in your question and question and answer for all of you at other meeting.
Design with just discharge?
Yeah, because we did the stall method, restaurant method, but what if you just have to give them discharge, like we have in the
Alright,
project?
so then you go up, yeah, what about that?
Yeah.
Actually, are you able to stop me sharing?
Is that it?
I seem to get out of this.
Can you write that? Alright, it's just like going through that process first, should in case you need to.
Yeah, should I stop sharing?
Alright?
Yes.
Good. So both of them have to do it.
Then
So are we out?